Welcome back. Electric Boat is one of Connecticut's biggest employers. They recently won a $2.3 billion contract from the federal government to build Columbia-class submarines. They're also getting $642 million to retrofit Virginia-class subs. The big question is, how do they get all that work accomplished? By trying to hire 8,000 people within the next year or so. That is not an easy task. Defense contractors in Connecticut continue to struggle these positions. So now what? How do you do it? Courtney Murphy is the Director of Workforce Development from Electric Boat. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So it is a big challenge. It has been for years, and you know that because you're on the front lines of it. What are the biggest challenges to trying to fill these jobs for you? You need welders, you need CAD designers, so many things.
So many things, yeah. So it's a big challenge, but it's very rewarding. Not only are we producing great products that keep us safe, but we also are giving people rewarding careers. So I think the biggest challenge is just getting the message out about the careers we have. They're not just a job, it's a long-term position that you can spend your entire career at Electric Boat and be able to provide for your family. And so really just getting the message out across the board to let people know that we're hiring. We train people. You don't have to be an experienced welder or machinist to come work at Electric Boat. Nobody knows how to build submarines, so you got to come here.
That's an especially acquired skill.
Right, and so we train everybody who comes through, and it's just a great, rewarding career.
So you can train people on the job. There are also ways to reach out to kids who are still in school at this point. In Connecticut, It's called the manufacturing pipeline. It's been around for a while. But one of the maybe hiccups in the beginning was only in the eastern part of the state. We have kids who need jobs all over the state. Is that expanding at all? It used to just be, somewhere in southeastern Connecticut.
Yeah, it's absolutely expanding. The great thing with the programs that we have is that they're through partnerships with universities like the Connecticut State College System. They're throughout the state, so it's very easy to take these programs and put them all over the state, which we are working to do. With the young kids, we're in elementary schools all over the state.
Really?
Elementary schools. We have kids.
So my fourth grader, not my fourth grader, but a fourth grader would be like, hey, I could be interested in this.
Absolutely.
How do they learn about it? What happens in the classroom?
We have age-appropriate activities that they do. So one lesson they'll learn about welding, and they'll weld with Cheez Whiz and crackers.
Really?
Another lesson they'll be learning about pipe fitting with building a little pipe fitting periscope, so that they learn about the submarine and about the trade at the same time, and they learn about all of that over 6 sessions, and we get so much feedback that the kids love it. They go home, tell their parents all about it, and so really just trying to get in early to let them know what we do and how exciting it is, and that it's a career opportunity, that college is no longer the only pathway, and that there's a lot of opportunities.
So we've done stories about this pipeline, or at least efforts to expand the pipeline to places like Hartford and Bridgeport and New Haven. One of the other components with something like that is, say you do catch the attention of a high school student who's a sophomore in high school, and they say, look, 2 years, I definitely want to do this. But they're in New Haven. How do they get all the way to Electric Boat, or how do they get all the way to a facility where they can start to train? Is there transportation available? That's another thing you've got to try to clear, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And we are putting these programs in the location that people are at so they can easily access them. But then obviously, when they do come to Electric Boat, they have to have the transportation. So we do have people who take the train from New Haven to New London and then hop right over the bridge to get to us. So there are opportunities. A lot of our employees do van trans with people in their region so that they can carpool together. So there's a lot of different aspects to that, and we continue to work to see what else can we do.
Try to come up with solutions, because
Absolutely.
you're going to need them. So Connecticut is an expensive place to live. You understand that. It's hard to find not only a decent job, but a place to live because it's so expensive here. If you're trying to pitch me as a parent, I want to say, look, I want to get my child into college, or I want to go in the trades. How do you pitch a parent and say, if you come with us, you might be able to afford a house? Does EB work on trying to figure out housing too? Is that something that's got to be part of the equation to convince these kids to stay here in Connecticut and not go somewhere else?
Yeah. We meet with a lot of organizations that are working on housing, and so we talk to them about our demand and our needs and the different people who are looking for apartments, but also first-time home buyers and everything. Our needs for our workforce really run the gamut. So we work with all kinds of organizations to try to get the right solutions in place. We talked to developers. One developer put an apartment complex up right near our engineering location, and right off the bat, full. 80% of them are employees.
Now, is that something that you're going to continue to do as a corporation? Because we know it's a crisis across the state. There's 100,000 units that we need, and that's got to affect your workforce,
Absolutely,
right?
yes. And it affects how we recruit, too. So we would love to be able to also import talent from other states. And that's one of the things that concerns us is, will they be able to find the housing? At least with the high school kids, they already have the support system in place. They can start to make a living, save money, and then move into an apartment or a first-time home buying situation. So it's a little easier when they're local, but we definitely need to be helping to inform what our needs are and how our partners can help.
It's a big challenge moving forward. Courtney Murphy,
Thank
we
you so
appreciate
much.
your time. Thanks for joining us on Face the Facts this morning.